Are we live?
What's up, YouTube? Yes, we are. That was perfect timing.
Are we live?
Ruined it. Soiled it.
Does that mean we have to behave?
We have to behave now. What's up, YouTube? Still getting everything set up, but we are almost ready to go, so we'll be
Gateway
rolling
energy.
here shortly. All right. Oh, jeez. I need to see it. What? I love it. I don't fully understand it, but I
I'm
love
about to
it.
put that on Twitter. Just be like Gateway Energy.
Yeah, pretty much. Check our Twitter, YouTube, if you haven't seen it.
There's
All right.
sometimes we're rush testing. Enough is enough.
Right? All right. Are you guys ready to try to start the show, or should I give you guys a minute to collect
Let's give it a
yourself?
minute because I gotta like reach out and like text all the people.
At least the memes are good from today.
Dude, they were actually really good. There was a lot of good stuff.
Oh my gosh, I gotta tag Kenny Wallace on this.
I want to know in our Google Doc who is the anonymous elephant?
What?
What?
Hold
An anonymous elephant is somebody that's not logged in to and is viewing the document.
Kuzman, what are you up to?
I see Megan's text. Why is Jeff a midget? Yeah, bro, you gotta raise the seat.
I didn't realize that.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
It's Lindsay's chair, so I didn't want to like mess with it.
Man, we
Is this what we look like? Is this really it?
Yep, we're canceled again.
The Hobbit has returned.
can you
That's
Lindsay,
better.
can you try to turn the camera just slightly more toward me?
Look, I just tweeted
I mean,
this and
very
said, can we
slightly.
have Kenny Wallace every week?
Oh, a little bit more back.
Oh my god.
Dude, I like
What
how
are we doing?
Right there. Don't move.
I look like the
We'll go with
Keanu meme. Where, I look like the Keanu meme where it's like it's got
Big
big
Keanu
Keanu
and
and then
little
small
Keanu.
Keanu.
Huh?
Oh my
I was gonna
gosh.
say, this was us last week
Last week. All right.
with the watermelon.
Oh,
That was me
that's
last
real.
week.
All right.
Holy, this is delicious.
Dude, this screenshot is so trash, bro.
Oh man.
It looks like we have my son over here.
Hold on.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how in the
No,
world.
DJ, we're not ready to start this show.
I will say it was kind of funny. What's up, Kuzman? Welcome to the Shift Show.
No, that's next week.
Jeff,
Yes.
you're literally no bigger than your computer in this.
Hold on, wait.
Hey, hold on. People want to see you.
Hold on. We got to move the helmet. It might be blocking it. It might be blocking Jeff.
He looks like Captain America before he has the serum.
Before he has the serum.
Baby Jeff.
Oh my god. I'm
Yeah,
literally
wait, did y'all see
crying.
what I put in the chat?
Quality memes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do it before and after.
Oh my
You are not
gosh.
Yoga the Mighty.
Don't worry, everybody. Jeff got the serum.
Oh Lord. I promise
Oh
we're gonna
my
talk
God.
about the race once we calm down.
Everybody watching on what happened.
Dude, we're just delirious after the freaking worldwide 600, dude. God dang.
Worldwide
Yeah, we
600.
What was it? NASCAR Chasm said. I didn't realize we were watching the Coke 600 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
oh my
jeez.
god, I'm literally crying.
All right.
That
you
was
guys,
so funny.
you guys wanna
Megan
try
just
to-
derailed this whole thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Megan.
Always.
Do you guys want to try to calm down so we can actually start and then
I
get
I
guess.
don't think they're gonna hold it once you
I
do
don't
the
think so.
intro.
With
The
our
intro's
intro, our
hilarious.
intro's hilarious. So it's gonna
I'm
be
a normal height now. So
okay. Well,
Maybe, I don't know.
we're already rolling there, so I don't
Whatever.
need to do that. All right. Let me just go ahead and start it. If you,
Tears rolling down.
I'm literally crying, laughing so hard. I just feel like, oh gosh, that's too
all
funny.
right, here, you guys ready?
Do you have the intro?
Yep.
Are we all doing the hey?
I don't think we're gonna be able to keep it together.
That would be hilarious. We all just start off. Hey. Let's give it a try. That would be funny. And then
Listen, if we go,
DJ, you
we're
just
just gonna
gotta
go.
continue.
We're just gonna
We'll
go.
all just say hey, and you just continue.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
Lord.
my gosh.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
I guess.
Just once I say go, like we're just gonna go for it, right?
We're
Go
All right.
for it.
Wait, are we saying hey at the beginning?
Yeah.
Or at the end?
we'll say hey and then let DJ do the.
Okay.
We gotta
If we
do
can
it.
make
You
it
gotta give us a countdown.
I'm not gonna be able to give you a countdown. You're just gonna have to, when the music starts, everyone just hey.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Wait, hold on.
Oh jeez. Oh, we're gonna try to get Lindsay
Oh,
to
here
film
we go.
this.
Okay. We need Lewis here.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, one.
You're ready? Okay.
Hey.
Don't forget the number 8 special. Free chicken tenders and cheddars tomorrow. Kyle Busch gets his 3rd win of the season, and he's always here for this feed.
So dull.
We're canceled.
What is up, guys? My name is DJ. I'm with Here for the Speed. I am joined by this lovely bunch of weirdos, including...
Hi, I'm Jake.
What's up, I'm Jeff.
What's up? Matt's back. That's about it.
Yeah, so in case you can't tell, we've been having a good time. It was a heck of a marathon.
Yeah, hey, if you want to watch the funniest pre-show ever, go check out the YouTube.
Yeah, if you are not watching on YouTube, it doesn't make sense, but it was a good time. So, all right. So, what do we think of the race? How did it go? What do we think?
Oh, we're just diving right in.
I mean, what else?
Right
Are we
in.
gonna do?
What, what are
I
you
don't
doing
know.
on
We
your
had
phone?
plenty to talk about. I'm just like sitting.
Yeah,
on
like,
YouTube
well,
links,
what
bro.
else are we going to talk about? Let's talk about the race. That's why we're here.
So I'll start right off the bat. So I said last week I was worried about this race because the Coke 600 was such a banger, and this wasn't the greatest race
Yeah.
in the whole world. Like I'm pretty sure the Coke 600 is going to be the best race of the year compared to like Jeff Gluck's polls and stuff.
be.
But I mean, this didn't disappoint. I thoroughly, besides the lightning holes at the beginning, this race I thought was great. I mean,
Yeah.
parts failures, attrition,
Lots of
wrecking.
failures.
People got chastained. Like, I mean, across the board, it was pretty good.
You know, that's kind of, you bring up like the whole lightning factor. Is that really necessary? Like a 10-mile radius?
I mean, somebody died like 5 years ago. So I mean,
Is that really what happened?
yeah, no. Like
Oh, I thought it was like a
think-
warning, like a liability thing.
No,
or
somebody
something like
died
that.
at Pocono.
Well, I'm sure that's part of it,
it's
too.
It might be more than 5 years now, but
I mean, but
somebody
like-
died a handful of years
I
ago.
don't know.
at Pocono.
A 10-mile radius.
in the
seems-
grandstands or something like
A
that.
10-mile radius seems like a lot.
I don't
I
know.
feel like they could
No,
stretch
sorry.
it down to like
wait,
5.
let me correct that. Not in the grandstands, in the campground. That's
What's
why
he
they do the
gonna do in
whole
the campground?
seek shelter. You hide in your.
I guess you go to your
hide in
RV
your
or
tent.
or vehicle.
your tent with metal poles.
I don't know. I feel like I just
Sounds
feel like
real
a
safe.
10-mile radius seems a bit.
Remember when we
camped
camped
Maybe
in July?
5 miles.
Remember when we camped in July at Daytona?
We
and it
live
was
in-
like this severe weather, and they're like, hide in your tent. We're like, bro, it's about to hail. What do you mean hide in our tent? Seek cover.
We
like,
live in
what?
the thunder or the lightning capital of the world. Like,
What are we gonna do?
like what are you gonna do? Like, you're.
I
in it.
mean, the lightning was a blessing in disguise because we got to watch the
This
entire
is
Indy
true.
race. So
Oh.
I mean, that was kind of nice. I mean, we're doing this podcast later than we definitely anticipated doing it, but I mean, I'm happy I got to watch 2 races today instead of 1. So
That's true.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
I was
fun.
actually kind of bummed that we weren't going to get to watch the Indy race since it was the first time back in Detroit in like almost 3 decades. You know,
Has it been
was
that
a
long?
Great race. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Wow.
26 or 29 years.
Dang.
Something like that. You know, latter 20s. But yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it was good. I guess that we could kind of talk about the different races that happened this weekend. So let's talk a little bit about Indy before we jump to Xfinity, since we're already on that. I thought it was a good race. I thought I was a little. The whole time, all I could think of was this is what it's going to be like when NASCAR's racing Chicago, but probably a little better. That's
I mean, they kind of do street courses. So
yeah. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about NASCAR at Chicago, if you can't tell.
It was kind of crazy. Like it
but
was,
it was.
so bumpy. It was so rough. Like I was kind of surprised because I mean, we didn't get a chance to watch Long Beach.
No.
So watching this, I was like, man, it kind of did make me kind of think of some of those similarities between
Yeah.
the Chicago street course and what this was. You know, and like these cars, you can tell like they're just made, they're set up like they know how to handle street courses.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they look rough, but everybody kind of looked like none of the bumps and things were like upsetting the cars
Yeah.
and putting them in like kind of like, you know, an uncomfortable situation. But I think when NASCAR goes to
Totally
Chicago, I don't think this is going to sit very well because like when it seems like when the Cup cars break traction, like they break, like that's it, and
Yeah,
it's
like
like,
the rotors,
oh, okay.
too soon.
maybe.
But, no, I thought it was a great race. It was funny. We were watching it. I was like watching the pace laps. I was like, oh, this is cool, you know. And I was like, oh, I've stayed at that hotel. They're racing around the hotel I stayed at. It was just
Really?
like, it like connected to like, oh, okay, I kind of know where they're at now. Like I've driven on those roads, and
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty
Pretty
neat.
sweet.
I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. What do you guys think?
I thought it was great.
You literally pointed to Matt and
Well,
then started
there was a
talking.
delay.
I like how Matt said like I didn't
There's
get a
a del-
chance to watch it.
there's no
It
delay.
was
Well,
definitely
no,
points
we were
right
both
at
like-
Matt.
we were both like
time out.
doing this thing.
I was watching all the kids, so I didn't get to watch the
That's fair.
entire Indy
Oh,
race.
gotcha.
But it seemed like a wreck fest, so I'm sure it was entertaining.
It was. It came down to like the
I'm
last
pretty
little
sure,
bit.
like,
I
what
mean, I wouldn't say it was a wreck fest, but it's hard driving, a little bit. I
think
mean,
it was
I don't know what
Team
you,
Mix-
I don't know what you call it, like NASCAR. We call
like
it door
wreck-
banging. I mean, like wheel banging. I don't know what you call it.
Wheel banging.
I
I mean, there was like the first lap or the second lap or whatever it was when one of the cars got like hung up on the back wheel of the other car and just
Yeah,
kind
free
of
tow
drug it
ride.
along.
Oh yeah,
But,
trailer. He was
saving,
yeah.
trailer.
saving that
Getting
fuel
trailered.
mileage, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Cannot
But
block bumpers.
no, definitely not.
it was really good. I thought it was a lot of fun. I always find it interesting to watch other stuff that's not NASCAR. I really thought I don't remember exactly the terminology they used, but it was like the double-sided pit lane. Where they
Yes,
had
that
it on
was so
both sides.
cool.
I've
Has-
never seen that before.
I've never seen
so
that
I thought
either.
it was
That's
pretty
yeah, that was
sweet.
pretty
I was
wild.
like,
I
oh
still
man,
didn't
you
see
know,
it.
yeah, it was just they
Catch
had
it next year.
half the
Whatever.
cars on one side and half on the other,
Yeah,
and it was a
that's-
very wide pit lane where you can basically be on whichever side your lane's on and then pull into wherever you're going to go. But I thought that was really interesting. I've never seen that before. I'd be interested to see if NASCAR takes some kind of influence on that. at
Yeah,
some
maybe
point.
one day. I mean, I got a feeling the Chicago street race is going to be short lived, and there's already other cities like I think it was
Nashville was one, wasn't
New
it?
York.
Oh, New York
was
is
one
yeah.
that they have like, hey, we want your product in our streets. So the Chicago street race, I'm actually hoping that it will be short lived, and we can bring back Chicago Speedway, which is one of the best ovals on the circuit, and then we can go to a market that really wants
Yeah.
NASCAR around. Which, in all fairness, and this is how it goes, right? The mayor of Chicago wanted it, and then there was a change in political figures, and then it flipped.
Yeah.
Right. And now all the people that person had sided with, and there's all this momentum from NASCAR. Now there's a new leader, and it's kind of swaying some of the
Yeah.
other directions. So, I mean, who's to say New York couldn't go the exact same way?
Yeah.
Or anywhere. Denver is another market I've heard of, which would be
So
interesting.
random, but like
Totally
yeah.
untapped market.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
I think the big takeaway for me, like we saw Monaco last week, and Monaco is such a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's so unique.
So
It's so
cool.
incredible. But it's hands down. It's not even close. IndyCar has such a far and a better product than F1 when it comes to street course racing. It's not close. The racing today versus Monaco, I'll take Detroit IndyCar literally.
I will say
every
that
day of
the
week.
F1 race did have more overtakes. I think there was 4.
No, I'm talking about Monaco last week. Oh,
Yeah, no.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I mean it was more than that, but there was
Did y'all,
definitely
did y'all
more
hear the
overtakes.
stat from Monaco last week?
No.
There
not
has not
specific.
been a pass for the lead in Monaco since like
Oh.
1996.
I did hear that.
You already know my
Holy
tinfoil
cow.
hat conspiracy. So
What?
Hold
For
on,
F1.
hold on,
What?
hold on.
Bro, I don't know if I want to say it.
What do you have to
don't know what
lose?
it is.
Yes, you do. I was saying, man, F1 is just such not a good product. It has to be just funded by like
Oh, that.
Yeah.
bad people. There's just
Black,
no way.
black market money.
Black market. Like I don't see.
I will
it's
say-
like-
I don't see IndyCar and NASCAR towing their cars away with cranes, so you're probably not wrong.
I'm just saying.
Got
like,
The
some
only
the whole
the
art
only
market
thing
and everything.
the only thing F1 does
It could
have
be.
going for them though is their broadcasters. Their broadcasters are some of the best.
Everything to do with marketing
gotta
and
make it
broadcasting with F1
like it's
is
important.
top notch. It's
not
the
wrong.
best. I mean, it's obvious the racing product. I think most people that watch all 3 series would say that they have the lesser of the main 3, IndyCar, NASCAR, and F1, but their marketing is far and above. I mean,
Kuzman brings up an interesting idea. He's like, if Vegas works for the F1, he's thinking maybe NASCAR goes there.
I don't see NASCAR stepping in the heels, or I don't see NASCAR clinging on to the heels of F1. I don't.
Well,
F1 is the stretch, and they literally go almost 6 months.
problem
apart.
is Vegas is already, if I remember right, Vegas was a pretty good race too.
And it's in late November. NASCAR's already done.
Yeah.
Or is it? It's late in the season, so I don't see it
Not in a
trying
playoff.
to partner up, doubleheader weekend. Blah,
That would
blah,
be
blah,
pretty
blah.
cool.
It would, but I don't see them doing that and adding it into the playoffs. I just don't. I think NASCAR wants to
Yeah.
make their own identity. They don't need to be.
I think it would be hard because
I don't
everyone
think.
would
I
just
don't think
compare
an F1 street course works for NASCAR. You know, I
have
just
no
don't think it
clue.
does.
Well, I mean, think
Coda-
about it. Coda is the only one that we
But
really
it's
have.
a purpose sport. It's
Yeah.
a purpose-built street course.
Well, it's not a street course.
I'm
Road
sorry.
course.
I'm sorry. Road course.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
because you look
I
at
don't
something
think-
like Sonoma, the F1 probably wouldn't be that good at. Well, wouldn't be that good anyway. But sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably that was a
Whoa.
lith harsh.
man,
My bad.
Man, I like Sonoma.
I mean,
No,
Max-
I'm saying
Max Verstappen would
F1
just
on
win.
Sonoma
I
wouldn't
think it'd be
be.
pretty good. Well,
I don't
it's kind of
think-
narrow.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
Yeah.
there's enough passing for them.
It'd be pretty good as Max Verstappen just pulls away in front of the whole
creates,
field.
28
creates a
seconds.
just gets a 30-second lap and just starts. You spilled my macchiato. I'm just driving like. So yeah, I don't know. But man, that Xfinity race this weekend. Did you guys all catch that?
Yes, that
Man.
was
Oh,
that
boy.
might be the best Xfinity race of the year. That was awesome.
That was wild. I've
not so much of the racing, but like the beating,
well, the
banging,
drama,
like,
Oh,
drama,
there's a lot of drama.
a fight on pit road,
kind of.
kind of.
Yeah, wasn't
Jep-
it wasn't
Jep-
a Ross and
Hey,
Gregson fight?
Can
but
I
it was,
say Jeff Burton oversold me on that fight? Because his tweets
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about how
Oh,
he was
yeah.
like, yeah, man,
He
that
talked
was a
himself
letdown.
up.
Yeah,
Was
and
it
then
Chandler,
we saw the
Chandler Smith's
replay. Yeah.
replay? His whole
that was
Hey,
hilarious.
I love him
was
like showing his
hilarious.
face, like I'm beautiful still. I'm clean.
Dude, like, and then when they edited it where it was like the little ducky sounds every time he
that
hit
was
him.
hilarious.
Like,
The squeaky sounds.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
No, the
that's
only
funny.
downfall to that race in Portland is that it's in Portland. 'Cause
Yes.
That track is actually really good,
Yeah.
and it was a great race.
Hey,
They
it was
put
a
on
good
great show.
turnout too from fans.
Oh yeah,
It was a lot of people there.
Yeah,
You know, the ARCA race was actually really good too on Friday.
I didn't see that one.
It was a
Yeah,
good
I
race.
didn't watch that one. But yeah, I mean, Xfinity was really good. I thought like we said, probably one of the best, best one
Super
they've had recently.
competitive.
Yeah.
I mean there was six,
People
7
going
cars that
people
could win
going
that race.
back to front. People comers
The
and
only thing that
goers.
confused me was if they missed the chicane in turn one.
That was very.
They were
confusing.
like,
Yeah, they
you
gotta
have to
work on that.
drive and then drive through barriers like they're cones. I was like, this is
and then
confusing.
two
but
drivers
it
did
wasn't
it.
that much of a penalty. Like
No, they
yeah.
lost two. What was it? Creed
One
and,
spot or two spots.
Creed
Yeah.
and someone else. Two
Custer?
cars.
No, not Custer because he won the race. It was Creed and the other guy that was leading the race the whole time.
Allgaier.
It wasn't Parker.
No,
yeah,
no,
Allgaier.
no. Was
Yeah,
it
Creed and
Allgaier?
Allgaier. I think.
It was Allgaier because Parker was the one that came
They
in
were
and pushed them
like they
into it.
practiced that.
Yeah.
man,
That was amazing.
Creed was not happy with Clickerman.
No.
Nah.
No.
I don't know.
Well,
He
no,
came out of
and
his
he was
car and
also
said,
not
"Ah,
happy
everything's
with
fine."
John
he,
Hunter.
He came out. He was
Very
like, "We
professional.
probably had a chance to win the race if it wasn't for the 48 making us go through the thing, go through the barricades because the 48 shoved the 7 and the 2."
I thought he said something when he got out of the car. He's like, "Yeah, we were door banging.
Well,
I
there
hit
was-
him.
then there
he
was
hit
also-
me."
No,
Oh,
no, that
It's
was
all
about
fair.
that was
John
about
Hunter.
John Hunter.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah,
Creed,
yeah,
Creed
I
had
heard
a lot
different
of beefs
one.
with people this week.
Well, I thought Creed was going to get it this week.
I feel
Actually,
Creed.
and me
He
and
looked
Matt's
like it.
our own separate fantasy league. Me and Matt do where we pick Xfinity truck drivers every week. I really thought Creed was going to get it this week.
I'm
man.
glad he didn't because I would have lost 2 points. That would suck.
I still got one. Yeah.
Yeah, you got 2 this weekend.
That was good. I needed it. You've been
Big seven.
kicking my butt. I've been like
Kinda
in the
used
lead,
up
and
all
like,
the
my
drivers.
driver wrecks, and I'm like, all right.
There's only 4 truck races left. Like, you might as well use them.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
You know,
I
that
don't know
is
about-
true. We're only down to 4 races to go in the trucks.
That's it.
That's crazy.
That's why I've been
We're-
using them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sandbag or
Are we?
Yep.
Just to clarify on the podcast for the record, are we resetting at the playoffs?
100%.
Whatever.
We can reset.
Okay,
we can
let's
reset,
reset.
and just do.
Let's make a new rule, but no
in the middle
no
of the
Cup
season.
drivers.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine. I was saying
Okay,
just
alright.
reset and do only the guys in the
The chase.
Ooh.
yeah
In the chase.
And if you pick one, but then he gets eliminated, or you don't pick him, but he gets eliminated, he's out.
But what if you pick the 4 that make it to the final 4?
I don't. Hey man, you
Man,
can't use
you're
them.
so dumb.
I don't know.
Get out of here.
Or you just
I
have
haven't thought
it
this through. Okay, this is on the spot.
have it reset on that
We
last
take a
day.
I
little
do.
bit
I
more
do like.
time.
Okay, we reset, and you can only pick the chase guys.
All right.
I think that would be fun.
Just chase the playoffs, whatever. they're
Y'all
called.
can talk about this over text later. Let's talk
No,
about
I need the video evidence
Oh
to
my
show
God.
Matt because Matt is such a stickler
I'm
for
pretty
rules.
sure you're still 5 points down.
As
so
you
I
can
wouldn't
see,
talk too
we're
much.
very competitive with Fantasy League.
No,
This is a normal
not at all.
conversation. This is
There
a
is-
weekly
Whatever.
There is
conversation.
literally literally nothing on any of these fantasy leagues.
Nope.
There's no money. There's nothing. It's all
Bragging
bragging.
rights.
That's it.
But,
Everyone's
but I will
ego.
say also for
There's
the
no
record,
punishment. Nothing.
Hey, I'm just gonna say when Lewis talked about getting in on the fantasy league, he's like, "All right, how much is the end? How much do we win?" I'm like, "There's nothing. There's not a trophy. There's nothing. It's literally just to be able to just brag and just trash talk. Like that's it." He's like, "That's kind of dumb. Okay, I guess I'll join." And now, bro,
know
he
how
listens to
competitive he is?
every podcast.
Yep.
He listens to everything because the trash talk is so thick. Like,
It's so real.
Oh, he was trash talking Matt because Matt was just giving him
yeah.
a fit today.
I
'cause
bullied him
dude,
into picking Kyle Busch,
so,
and
okay.
it worked out for
I was
him.
gonna say let's.
you're really selling yourself up there.
He's a Kyle Busch fan, not Matt, but Lewis. Lewis is a Kyle Busch fan, so he was stressing like crazy all day today. So Matt's just sitting next to him, just be like, "Oh, I just hope Larson just washes up the track," just saying anything he can,
use
just to
all eight
mess with him.
tires, Larson. Just get right next
Yep.
to him. Just
but
squeeze
Lewis
a little
is
bit
just like,
of
will
glory.
"Shut
say,
up, Matt."
I will say on the record though that Matt is always the person that's like, "Oh, you didn't spell their name right. Your picks don't count."
Yep. Dude, that is so true. That's 100% real.
Like that's the level of
pettiness.
competitiveness
You
that we're
spell
dealing
Barry
with.
with one R. It doesn't count.
Hey man,
Yep.
gotta
Listen
take
to
your
him.
advantage where you can.
Exactly. All right, so let's
That's
move on
funny.
to our top 10 rundown. So, number 1, obviously finishing first is Kyle the Man Busch.
Okay.
The man,
Top 10 rundown here.
Yes.
Did you say that?
Cheddar's boy.
Stop checking Twitter.
Sorry.
Jeez. You have a problem.
Yeah.
Yes. Top 10 rundown. Kyle Rowdy Busch gets first. He had a pretty solid
man
car all
deserved
day,
it.
honestly.
I mean, how
holding
many
off the
restarts
field.
do you take in order to prove that you're going to win the race?
yeah.
Against
Like-
Kyle Larson.
Against Larson and Hamlin, which were
Hamlin,
arguably the
And
I mean,
Blaney.
me
second
and
best
you
cars.
said
And
all
Blaney
day
was right
that we
there.
really thought Hamlin was going to be the guy to
Yep.
get it done.
He couldn't get the spot.
I mean, we both talked about before when we were doing our picks for our fantasy league that we both liked Kyle Busch, but his practice results weren't great. So we kind of, me and Matt both didn't pick him.
Nope.
Jeff somehow did. I like how Jeff comes from not last, but close. And
No,
all of a sudden,
nope,
Jeff
I'm
is like a
last.
threat for the lead of the playoffs
Yeah,
or,
me and Jeff.
of our fantasy league. We're like, what's going on here?
We're
All Star race.
30
Right?
points off. I seriously think you took it this week.
All right.
I
Second.
thought I did all right.
Probably from the stage.
Let's
win.
move on.
Sorry.
Second
Wait.
place.
We are never doing that all-star format again.
I thought it was cool, but maybe we should do it for the Coke 600.
When most everyone lost points, but I gained like 145 or what it was.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Jeff's just going to sweep everything.
Listen, we didn't know they were bringing the T-Rex car out of retirement, okay?
Facts.
Yeah.
I would have picked Larson if I had
All
known
right,
that.
Number two.
Number 2, Denny Hamlin. Again,
Fair.
kind of talked about it. We figured he probably was definitely one of the best
Statistically,
cars.
he had one of the best cars.
Yeah.
Lap averages, qualifying, just overall speed throughout
Yeah.
the race. He was able to hold it. He did good on track, pit road. Was able to gain some spots. I mean, just all in all, solid finish from Hamlin.
It's because Chase Elliott
Yeah.
wasn't there.
No. I think
heck
he
was
was
that?
I think he was probably top 2. At the end he was definitely top 2. He wasn't faster than Kyle Busch, but I think just the way so many restarts,
Yeah.
had they gone out on a little bit longer run, Hamlin's 4 tires probably would have outdone Larson's 2, but you good?
Sorry. Yeah. I was just not trying to do it into the mic.
This is such a train wreck. Number 3, Joey Lugano. I just felt like saying his name weird.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of average.
He kind of stayed in the top 10 pretty much all day, and then
Yeah.
just at the end just kind of really capitalized on it.
I think I'm sure Blaney I think is somewhere in the top 10. I don't remember for sure, but definitely ran top 10. So good day for Penske minus Austin
I
Cindric,
figured-
who's
I
trying to
figured
join
Logano-
the
Sorry.
Don't Give a F tour.
Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
Logano was
Chastain.
going to do really good this race just because he won it last year.
Yeah.
And this
He
race
had the right
races-
strategy. He had the right. I mean, he kind of figured it out last year, so why not just
Yeah.
bring it back?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of comparables too to Phoenix, which he won in the fall, right,
Mm-hmm.
for the championship. So I think there was you expected him to run good. So,
Yeah.
but definitely good, decent day for Penske.
Not even that. They were saying that Larson was running. I want to say the same pit strategy that the 22 and 18 were running last year.
which got them top 5s, right?
No, look, it was first and second.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was first and second. And guess what? They all ran the same strategy again. First, second, third.
Yeah.
It's just it plays out.
Yeah, it worked out. I mean, it just seemed like at the end of the race, there was a lot of attrition there. I mean, last year's had 10 cautions, and this one had 11.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Moving on
Makes
to
sense.
4th place, Kyle Larson. I think honestly he held on with 2 tires better than I would have expected.
Yeah.
I really didn't think that the 2 tires would have lasted
All the cautions and
That
restarts helped for sure.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
See,
Tires
really,
get
I
cooled
think-
down.
No, I mean the cautions hurt him
you think so?
horribly. I mean,
Nah,
he was in second.
think about
They
who
cooled
was it?
down the
Who was
tires.
it? Reddick that took 2 tires and dropped way back on that like that 40 lap run.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going from Tyler Reddick's equipment to Hendrick's equipment. It's going to be different.
I mean,
I don't know.
I
Kyle
think the
Larson
bottom
ran
line-
like 30th plus half the race.
I think the bottom line is that the fact that him taking 2 tires and handling the car the way he did shows that he kind of knew what was going to happen if he pushed that a little too far.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he had the restraint to be able to hold back when he needed to, plus obviously the benefit of having all those pace laps and allowing your tires to cool down, I think he got the best finish that he could out of, considering he didn't have fresh tires at the end like some of the other cars.
I think the swings that the 5 car can take from like last week, running terrible,
Yeah,
getting a good finish last week
Mm-hmm.
before not a good finish, but getting up to good speed before
Yeah.
he spun out. And then this week, horrible, big pit stops, big changes, and then look where he came back to running
100%
good.
communication.
That's crazy.
He's
man.
able to.
There's nobody else
almost
making
dissect.
big swings like that and running good at the end. Like there's nobody else doing that.
He
Like
can
that's
dissect the car,
yeah.
tell him exactly what it needs, and then
it's kind of the way Kyle Busch used to be like a couple of years ago.
oh,
Well,
very
him
remember
when
he used
him
to
and
be that
Adam
way.
Stevens were together.
Yeah,
And they had like an hour, 2 hours of practice, and they could really work on it. And then Kyle would come out and just dominate a race.
yeah,
It just takes almost like that hour or 2 hour practice that you used to have is almost like your stage 1 and 2,
Yep.
and then you set up for 3. But yeah, I think Kyle Larson's going to be a powerhouse for a long time. The way they can literally be one of the worst cars and then be decent top 5 running car.
yeah. Moving on to number 5, Martin Truex.
It's good. I think his
Solid.
finish is mostly just resulted around having the freshest tires at the end.
Yeah,
and
he
multiple.
was moving
restarts.
pretty good there at the end. If that race had gone another couple, he probably would have been in the top 3.
yeah, he had fresh tires and came out when he had the freshest tires. He came out at 17th and ended up. What do you say, 5th?
5th. Yep.
5th? Yeah.
Yeah, quite impressive. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 6, Ryan Blaney. Leading, had a really strong car, leading a lot of the time, and then ended
Kinda
up,
solid.
just
Felt
I
kinda
would say
falling back.
I will almost say slightly disappointed.
Yeah.
The ending.
Disappointing because led a bunch of laps.
Yeah.
Ran really good.
Won a
Top 2,
stage.
top 3. Won
I think
a
he
stage.
won a stage,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
But
And
hey,
then-
that's kind of what we've talked about or known is Ford's been missing it on the Arrow. Once he got in dirty air, started dropping.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know?
point. That's a good point.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 7. This one kind of came up out of nowhere. Daniel Suarez.
He ran top 10 all day.
I mean, sorry, I say come out of nowhere more so because they haven't really been around.
Yeah.
Like
Solid run
they
for
haven't
him.
been
right.
doing great the last few weeks.
Solid
so,
run for him. Very
Yeah.
disappointing for Chastain today. So
Yeah.
I think.
flip the script.
Do you think Chastain is in his own head
Yeah.
because of
Overthinking it?
of what happened 2 weeks ago?
Maybe. I mean, honestly.
And getting a talking to with Justin Marks or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We saw this last year,
He calmed down at the second half of the year.
and he doesn't seem to do as good.
Yeah.
Don't talk to him. Let him.
Yeah, just
do
let him do his
Yeah.
thing.
I
don't
mean,
even look at him.
The tour needs to roll on.
well, I mean, it's just a matter of, he's got his own racing style and his personality and everything that goes with it. It's part of his brand. Like he's building this brand around it, and it's like,
Maybe Chevy's kind of getting
You
it
read
all.
that?
Yep.
Take
Sorry,
it easy there,
sorry.
Kuzman.
We're getting distracted by the YouTube chat. Sorry, Kuzman. No, just don't.
Not dads for Blaney. No.
oh god.
Toxic.
Maybe Kuzman for Blaney.
Maybe.
All right. All for Blaine. Megan. Jeez. Anyway, moving on. Number 8, William Byron.
Again, I think a little disappointing. Ran top 5 all day, and so to get a top 10 is probably a little lackluster what they expected. I know he fell back. They really swung the setup, got way off. So, oh my gosh,
Y'all
This chat,
stop.
stop.
This chat's getting ridiculous.
Getting toxic.
So, yeah,
Um,
I think probably not as good as they wanted to run
well,
compared to how they ran all day.
I think everyone always wants to run at the front. But yeah,
well, I mean,
no, I know what you mean.
comparable how you ran, say, the first half.
Yeah.
Second half.
I think
the
it was
race wasn't
just
as good.
I think it was just the other drivers were able to adjust their car a little better. and that they just weren't able to quite make as
well, they
much
had that.
strides.
They had that one pit stop, and then whatever they did, he was super loose,
that did mess
out of
him up.
control, loose. I mean, he went from top 5 to
like
like
15th
15th,
or something,
16th,
yeah.
and like I mean, 15 laps. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really they missed it big time.
Number 9, Michael McDowell. Man, he was up at the top all day.
Good day for them.
Yeah, really solid day.
Hey, he did the 2-tire strategy a lot.
Did he really?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did it. He did it at
two
least
tires,
twice,
two
right?
tires.
I think so, but
Yeah,
I'm
at
not
least
sure.
twice. I can think of maybe a third time,
I
but
think it was 3 times.
Another Ford though.
no, that was Sunday, last Sunday
My bad.
or Monday.
Whatever day it was.
No, I mean good for them.
Yeah,
Yep.
Another Ford team.
Yep, number 10, Kevin Harvick.
Again, disappointing.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's
That's what
going on
happens
with
when you go
Stuart
back
Haas.
to stock parts.
Oh my god.
Took all the cheated parts off.
Can't do that. No, I mean Kevin Harvick did what Kevin Harvick does.
He took an average car and made it better.
So since Jeff Gordon, and I say this as a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, every person, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson, it seems like all these great legends, as they're ending their season, like it's just that nobody's going out on a high note.
No.
Jeff Gordon was the last one to leave as a legitimate championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, that kind of hurts, man. Like it's kind of like,
Yeah.
like still think Harvick running top 10 very consistently probably has a real chance to win a race, but it's like, man, you kind of 11 or more races until Daytona. Oh
He
no,
needs a win.
10 races until Daytona. 11 if you count Daytona to your championship.
He needs a
He
win.
started, didn't he start this race like third?
It was I don't know.
I don't know.
That
Yeah,
part I don't know.
it
I
is-
know it was up front because I was heavily considering picking him, but
It is quite a shame that these legends are ending on kind of lower notes, but I feel like they more or less make up from it because a lot of them do have like very successful careers around racing
Fourth.
after the fact.
Started 4th.
Like you see, like Jeff Gordon was in the booth, and now he's, way up there in the executive like team on Team Hendrick, and
Yeah.
you've got like Clint Boyer. He's not a legend, but he's like a really popular driver, well-known driver,
Yeah.
having successful career. So like a lot of these drivers who either weren't contenders or were championship status people, but are no longer championship status people, they kind of ran their career, until there was just nothing left.
Tony
Yeah.
Stewart just decided he was going
And-
to drag strip race.
He's gonna
Everything racing.
I can't win anymore, so I'm just gonna start my own team
I'm gonna buy
and
a
still
dirt
not
bike.
win.
I'm gonna race my own. I'm
Well,
gonna
they
create my own
have a
league.
championship, so,
Yeah.
with Harvick.
So,
So.
all right. So let's, so you guys have anything you want to add on the top 10 before we?
How'd your boy Ty Gibbs do? Where'd he end?
I don't want to look.
Okay. That was
Don't wanna
DJ's
talk
sleeper
about
pick
it.
this week.
That was, and he was looking really good. He got 20th.
I want to say
Dang.
Could be worse.
not a top 10, but dude, Carson Hocevar,
Running it.
mind blown.
That was
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 16th, 17th before he wrecked. I
Yeah.
mean,
He drove the
And-
car to its limits.
And
That's
LaJoy
for-
was in the mid 20s.
talk about drivers getting in their own head.
Yeah.
I mean, Corey LaJoy, one, say it's a car, right? You left your car that ran great until it didn't for a car that ran horrible the entire night.
Yeah.
I mean, he finished like mid 20s, but that's only because like 5-6 cars wrecked out. He was a 30th place all day long, qualified poorly.
Mm-hmm.
It's, man, Carson Hocevar has been impressing in the Xfinity series.
He did good.
He actually might be a real Cup talent coming up.
He was trained by Chastain.
He was. That's it. He's going to be the next Chastain. I mean, he has been known to
Right
wreck,
hook.
I was saying, to wreck drivers for
Oh, he's
improving his
wild on the
position.
track.
Yeah.
He's gonna dive it in. He's gonna
For
give
sure.
it all until
So-
the brake rotors blow off.
Kuzman says
soon.
Ty Gibbs needs another year in Xfinity. I don't know. I think Ty Gibbs has actually been running pretty good.
He has been.
I
He's
think
been-
this car drives so different than the Xfinity car that you can't.
I think another year would have been good for him.
Why? He
But
dominated, won a bunch of races, and got
I
the
think.
championship.
Well, no, but I think that's what I was going to say.
against all odds against 3 JRM cars.
And that's what I was going to say. Is the problem
wrecked
is
his own teammate to
he-
do it.
We would be seeing a Verstappen type of situation. I think if he was still in Xfinity.
Oh,
I
this
think
year for sure.
He'd be dominant. 'cause
Who would
he
he be racing against? Cole
Yeah.
Custer?
Austin Hill.
Well, I mean, we were talking last week,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, but,
I know.
but there's only like 3 plate races, so I mean, come on.
but we were just talking about this last week on the podcast about how we were so impressed with Ty Gibbs last week at Charlotte because he had never even run Charlotte, had no practice on
Yeah.
it, and he was like running top 10, like
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm super impressed
in
by
an
Ty Gibbs.
endurance race at that.
I
So-
was admittedly very hard against Ty Gibbs, and in the beginning of the year,
Baby
but
Gibbs.
now at this point, man, I'm kind of like, man, y'all better watch out. Like he gets 2-3. Remember, like Chase when he started,
once he won.
it took like 2-3 years,
Yep.
and then once he broke through, Ryan Blaney, couple years. Once he broke through, powerhouse. Like so, you see some of these like newer guys. I won't say Bowman, but I mean,
You could kind of throw Bubba in there a little bit.
how about Byron?
Byron's one, yep.
That's
So
kinda,
you
this
give
is
these
kind of
guys
that
a
year.
couple years. I think with the Xfinity car and the Cup car racing so different, you got to get them into the Cup car, get them going there,
Give 'em
and
some
then-
time.
Actually, I think that's why Hocevar was so good because the truck races a lot more like the Cup car.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kuzman. I think he just, he's new. This is his full, as Nate would say, his first full NASCAR season.
Cup season.
Yeah, Cup season. So, so I think he's getting there. But yeah,
what a difference from last year,
yeah, for sure.
right?
Where he was
Oh, yeah.
taking over for what was it, Kyle Busch
Kurt.
or Kurt Busch? Sorry, Kurt
Yeah.
Busch.
I was like, what?
Yeah, sorry, different one.
Different Bush.
Yeah. But let's go back to LaJoy and Hocevar, right? So I think because we had said a few weeks ago, LaJoy was probably the number one person that if we wanted to see in a better ride, he was it. And today wasn't really that day.
We were wrong.
I'm hard pressed to think Chase Elliott runs that poorly.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever really runs that bad unless he's wrecked.
Yeah, that's what makes me kind of like down on the whole LaJoy thing.
Yeah. Now it is one race.
I see Elliott making similar big adjustment, big changes like Larson did. Maybe not
Yeah.
as extreme, and Larson probably capitalizes on that more than anybody else. But I definitely see him running top 10 eventually, maybe top 15, but not top 30. Like that's. I think eventually. I think officially, I'm kind of off the LaJoy. Could be really great if he's in great equipment bandwagon.
Hey, he's going to start Owen McKendrick some pennies after this week.
All those pennies he's been stacking.
Hey, LaJoy, I'm gonna need them pennies.
Hey, bring him on over.
I need him back.
I think if I'm LaJoy, I'm nervous.
You better stay in that 7.
Hocevar is, he made that 7 look good.
Yeah.
And
When was the
it's- and
last
this-
time you saw the 7 run that high?
Atlanta.
Okay, non-super speedway.
Okay, yeah. Other than that one.
He did
Incredible.
a brave move, man, when
Several.
they were, what were they wrecking? And then he just took the outside and he probably took what,
He can't, like-
10 spots?
Something crazy.
I mean,
He
I'm
was just
sure.
like, oh, the outside's fine.
I'm sure he won't.
but it wasn't even before they were wrecking him, and he was making gains.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that could lead to maybe he was overdriving his equipment, not taking care of it. But if you get him in good equipment, man, like I think every team owner was kind of raising an eyebrow, like, hey, if this Josh Berry deal with Stuart Haas isn't done yet, you might be like,
Start picking out of trucks,
"Hey,
man."
Wait a minute.
Start
Yeah.
picking your drivers.
Well, the thing is I've heard them say that the trucks are much more similar in how they race to the Cup cars than say
Right.
like the Xfinity is. So it might make sense to start looking in the Truck Series because the cars or the trucks and the
They
cars are
race
more
way
similar.
more similar.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it might make more sense.
And I think that's a great idea too, because usually truck drivers are a lot younger as well. And so that's marketability right there.
Yep.
They can have the long careers,
What
That's-
about
that's
what about
something I
Zane
think about.
Smith?
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Jumping Xfinity, going from trucks right to Cup with Furniture Row.
When Zane
look,
Smith's
look
in
how
that
good
38,
he's been.
he's good.
Dude,
When he's in that
good,
38, he races good.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think when I'm kind of worried about, I'm afraid that the line between Cup and Xfinity is going to keep growing farther and farther apart, and this is going to promote the Xfinity series becoming something completely different. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? Instead of like the step of trucks, Xfinity, Cup, if it keeps growing
I don't think
apart
NASCAR
like
will
it
ever
has
go that way.
been, there's talks about the Xfinity series becoming an electric series or becoming some kind of crossover like SUV series. Like there's some crazy talks about
There
what the
is some
Xfinity
ideas,
series
I don't know.
could become in the next 5 to 10 years.
I don't know that I like any of those, but
I'm with you. I don't
but
like it either.
I do think I think NASCAR is prime for a 4th series. And
Yeah, and it's not
said-
ARCA.
Not ARCA, but I mean another series other than ARCA.
I think, yeah.
I think there's another series, whether that be SUV, maybe it's electric SUVs because all the SUVs that are coming out are electric.
Because we don't
now.
have enough rollovers.
Exactly.
Yeah, we really had a fast
In the
Toyota
Ford.
RAV4 today.
And what's better than rolling over SUVs? SUVs that set on fire because the batteries explode.
Now I understand why Mustangs made an SUV.
Yes,
I
They're
mean,
just planning.
honestly,
they read the script.
Matt,
They
honestly,
wrote the script.
They might have. All right.
I mean, you know, I want to say too.
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
for it.
I think you see Dale Jr. really making an effort to try to go to Cup because he knows something's coming to Xfinity. He knows it's coming.
I haven't
and
heard
he
anything
doesn't
about it.
want to be a part of it.
I haven't heard anything about it.
There's been some slight little crumbs here or there.
It doesn't look like he's putting the same effort or energy into.
So there was a
Xfinity.
rumor that Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were trying to come together to do the Cup team.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Johnson left and went to Legacy Motorsports.
Oh.
So I think everything is going to hinge on the whole charter agreement, if it extends or not.
Mm-hmm.
If it extends, Dale Jr., I guarantee you buys a Cup charter and becomes a Cup team, guaranteed. But if it doesn't, maybe he still does, but he's not going to buy a charter until that whole deal
Yeah.
is resolved. Because this is it next year.
I think it's next year.
It ends, right? So there's only 1 year left with the charters as of right now. So we'll just have to see what happens there. But there's a real emphasis on Dale Jr. wanting to become a Cup team, which makes me think he's been happy in the Xfinity for,
However many years.
No, like 15, 20 years. He's been totally happy right there, not wanting to go Cup racing. And now there's an emphasis on him wanting to leave the Xfinity series. So
Yeah, maybe.
that tells
Yeah.
me that there's plans for the Xfinity series that's coming that's going to really shake it up and be way different.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our About It, Not About It topic. So for any of you guys listening, this is our About It, Not About It section. So basically, I'll throw us out a topic, and we basically say whether we are about it or we're not about it. So first one, this is year 2 of Gateway. What do we think of Gateway so far? Year 2, Matt, or let's go Jeff. Jeff, you first.
Thanks.
I mean,
Oh,
I thought it was good. I'm about it. If I'm talking about the race I just watched, I thought it was a great race. I liked, Jacob and I were talking earlier. I liked the attrition that this race brings. That was really cool. It added an element that was not a part of other. I don't want to call them filler races, but like races that aren't as like marquee as some of the others. So I really like that. I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm about it just based off of this current race, but I think that there's other options that they could have should this not work out. But I don't know. What about you, Matt?
Matt?
I am about it. I thought the race was very good. I don't think it really went too crazy as far as excitement. It was a good race. It was a solid race. The struggle that I'm having was it wasn't the best race of the weekend. 100% Xfinity took the cake. I thought they had
Yeah.
the best race.
I mean, they weren't.
Well,
at the same
no. I
track,
mean,
though.
if you look at it from the race, yes, like the race itself, I think Xfinity, yes, it was more interesting. For me, I liked Gateway last year, so like I'm about it. I liked Gateway last year. Last year, of course, we did have a lot of extra stuff with Hamlin and Ross going on. That was kind of fun. And then there was Austin Dillon and Brad situation where Austin Dillon almost ran Brad off of the track. But I like the track. I don't know. I like
It was just a solid race. Like,
it was
good.
solid. It wasn't like amazing. It wasn't the Coke 600. It wasn't Charlotte. It wasn't anything amazing, but it was a solid race. So
I
I'm-
just think you have cold takes.
Why? You didn't like Xfinity? I thought
You
Xfinity.
just look at me, ask me why. I just said you have cold takes.
All right.
okay. So
Let's hear your
okay.
full
Well,
take.
then that's I'm about it. So yeah, that was my explanation.
So I'm totally about it. So I was harsh or skeptical of it last week,
Right.
right? A little
Rightfully
skeptical
so.
because the
yeah,
Yeah.
worried about the high of the Coke 600 going into the. What else do you want from this race? Attrition, guys wrecking other people, overdriving corners. You had people spinning out on their own. You had parts failures. You had everything, and it was supposed to be a shorter race, but it ended up being a longer race. The mileage was shorter.
Yeah.
I mean, this race, like, I don't know what else I wanted.
I just wanted
Yeah.
Brad to win.
Okay, that's hard to do.
No,
on
I
six,
mean,
hard to do on
Jake,
six
so you're-
cylinders.
you're telling me this
true.
was a better race than the Xfinity race?
yeah,
Really? I thought the Xfinity race was more fun. It was, I think it had a better turnout in Portland.
but why was it more fun?
It was more.
To me,
don't
the
know.
Cup race was the best of the best going at it, racing fairly clean. The top 5 raced clean all day long. It was the best of the best. Kyle Busch
I'm not saying
dominated.
it was bad though.
5 race starts. You had Kyle Busch versus Kyle Larson, the 2 best guys in the sport, arguably. Right? How many wins does Kyle Larson have? 3?
This year 3, I believe.
Yeah.
And Kyle Busch 3.
3 now.
The 2 best guys. Maybe
Kyle and
throw
Kyle,
Kyle Byron or Kyle Byron.
Kyle Byron.
Now we got 3 Kyles.
You
Kyle
throw
or
you throw Byron in there, right? As a possible third guy. But like the best 2 going at it, restart after restart after restart. Like that was great. I enjoyed the Xfinity race. I thought it was really good. And I think
It was the best
Portland-
race of the weekend.
I don't know about that.
It was 100%. There was
Portland should-
fights.
Portland should be looked at as but Xfinity fights on every road
My
course.
only
Whatever.
downside, and I've said it before. I said it during. I want to say it was Dirt Bristol. I think it was when they did not have. They had non-competitive pit stops. That's boring. That is unbelievably boring.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go as a
But I get it.
standalone, if you're
I get
gonna
it.
go as a standalone series to the other side of the country, like
It kind of makes sense.
it comes with the territory.
They just need to buy some.
But I
points.
do think Cup should look at going to Portland because that racing was really good. It seems like the circuit really, gives itself to good racing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's something that they should really look at. The fan attendance for an Xfinity race. Show me another Xfinity race that has that many people there.
That was a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
It was a lot of
Ain't-
people.
Like that's probably one of the highest attended Xfinity races of the year. So it was a great race. The whole weekend, the truck race at Gateway was good. I like
Yeah.
Gateway. Like I said, attrition,
The
wrecks,
truck race. At
everything
Gateway
at Gateway.
was a shift show. That was crazy. I think they ran like every 20 laps they were wrecking.
That's fine.
was
It's just the truck
insane.
series.
So Ryan Kuzman says it's hard to compare a road course and an oval.
Okay, just
Fair enough.
That's a fair point.
it's fair. I'm just saying, pure excitement. You watch
As far as
both races
enjoyment.
next to next. I enjoyed the
I-
Xfinity race more this
I
week.
think maybe this is.
Really?
I don't know if I'm going to try to put words in your
just
mouth
I
or
liked it
not.
better.
What more did you want from the Gateway race?
I thought it dragged on a little bit. I was kind
I
of.
mean, the lightning. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
No, I don't think it's that.
are you
So-
talking about
okay.
the lightning?
No, I'm just.
Good
It was just
job.
a longer race.
We were.
Chow.
I mean, we were delayed for like an hour.
Good
Like,
chica. Good chica.
we keep saying that the race started at 3:30. Like, well, allegedly around there, whatever. But like, the thing with it is
Really
that
like 5.
well, yeah, because we had like an hour and a half of delays. So if you take like the 5
Excluding
hours,
the delays, what more did you want from the Gateway
Yeah.
race?
Oh, I need Brad to win.
Yep, that's exactly what Lindsay
Oh,
said in the
okay.
I
chat
need
just
my
now.
drivers to win.
Matt
Come
just
on.
wanted Brad to win.
Of course.
wait.
Because he
just-
had a real shot at
He
Portland.
was there.
Yeah.
15 more restarts.
I mean,
Yeah.
just for
No.
the record, real quick. I mean, I just want someone to hype me up, just like Brad's team. Hypes
Oh,
him
the
up,
RFK
or the
Twitter?
media
Oh, my
team.
God.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
bro.
The RFK Twitter is literally the best.
Yeah. So yeah, I think all in all, I think we're all pretty much about it. It's a good race, but I think in your case, talking about the Xfinity race, I think where it was better was this race had a lot more downtime. The Cup race, right? There was a lot more downtime, and by downtime
know,
I mean
man. Like,
I felt
there
there
was
was-
once the restarts,
but
once
I
everyone.
like that. Like when we're all hanging out.
Yeah, but-
and like, oh, okay, there's an exciting restart. Now we
Okay.
can get up. We can go do this, whatever. Like I don't.
I thought it was
Right, but
way
what
more
I'm
competitive.
well, see, that's what I'm saying
There was
is
a lot more movement happening in
once
the Xfinity race.
the Cup race
for the lead,
went,
for the lead.
I give you that.
quote unquote.
I give
for
you
the
that.
lead. You
Once-
know, it was Sheldon Creed up front, and then out of nowhere, Cole Custer comes up,
Yep.
and then
That's what I'm
Parker
saying.
Kligerman was in it for the win,
With
and
the
then
Cup
Allgaier
race,
was leading. Like
the Cup
there was
race
just a
once
lot more.
it kind of made its way out and kind of single filed out, it pretty much stayed there.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then John Hunter was spinning out and then trying to wreck his team. Like it was
Yeah.
just there was more excitement.
There
I
was
involved
more.
a lot more.
Yes, I would
So
agree.
this all comes down to Matt is team chaos unless Brad's winning the race.
Always.
Yes,
Always.
absolutely.
Are you
Moving
kidding
on.
me?
All right, so let's
As
move
long
on.
as everyone's safe.
All right,
Put your hat back on. Tinfoil hat.
Nice sound effect. Who needs a soundboard when you have Matt?
call back.
Ciao.
Call back. All right, so moving on to our next about it topic, or about it not about it topic. Is it just me, or does the Fox broadcast appear to be biased toward Chastain?
It's not even a question.
It's,
Biased
are.
against.
Biased against
Against.
Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
So specifically, what brought this up is there was the incident today with I don't remember who it was.
Michael McDowell,
McDowell. So McDowell
McDriver.
McSpinner.
basically you've got Chastain on the inside. He can't go any lower. His tires are on the rumble strips.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
I will say I'm biased.
Chastain did come up a couple feet because he hit the rumble strips, did slide up. It's a typical arc for that corner. You use the rumble strip to arc the corner.
Same thing. Yeah.
But,
Fair
McDowell,
enough.
McDowell did come down.
Yeah.
I chalk it up to a racing incident.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was like, oh, Chastain washed up and like the way that the broadcast is like, oh, Chastain got into him, and it's like, I mean, you're not technically wrong,
they're
but
stretching. They're
yeah,
stretching to just bring him up.
it's like they want to keep stirring the Chastain pot up,
Yep.
just to try to keep
Yeah,
that
but
drama alive.
it's not even stirring the thing. So like Dale Jr. on his podcast, some of the other podcasts, some of the other people that are talking about it, like they're all for it, but like there is a negative kind of
around him.
Connotation.
not a, maybe I'm thinking like agenda, but a connotation.
Yeah.
There is like a negative view on things, and it's like, man, it's just hard racing. You have a guy that races really freaking hard
Yeah,
and doesn't back out.
And a
Is
guy
that
who's
is that his fault?
arguably calmed down a lot.
yes.
Too much.
Well,
What'd you say?
I said the same thing at the same time. Nice. Besties.
Jinx.
Besties. Oh my god. Oh yeah. So yeah, I think so. So what do you guys say? Are you guys about the way they're treating him?
No,
Or
I'm not about it. I don't like it. It's like an unfair thing. Like you're almost like demonizing a guy that races really hard, and like that is that not what everybody loved about Dale Earnhardt?
listen,
Yeah.
I
In
think
the early days of Dale Waltrip, they called him Jaws because he raced hard. Like this is what makes NASCAR.
Yep.
Guys that race really hard. This is what Kyle Busch booed forever because he races really hard and gives no craps about anybody but himself. How could you not be about that?
I mean, ultimately, as a race car driver, that's their job. Their job is to finish
like-
at the front, no matter what.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
You know who he cares about?
Him.
Max Verstappen. They're like, oh, maybe we're gonna let Perez win a race.
Nope.
He's like, no. He literally throws a fit if they want to let Perez win a race when they're running 1 and 2. Like, no, man. Like racing is selfish. It's inherently selfish. Like it's all about you and all about you going to go win races.
Yep.
So like I am so for a driver that is that selfish. Like we see Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex
Logano.
Jr. Logano. That's a great
Logano
one.
is
That's a great one.
But think
Because-
about Blaney and Larson. Multiple opportunities to send it in there and get Kyle Busch washed up and
Yep.
take the lead.
and they should have.
Okay, but
Lewis right now just had a heart
they
attack.
don't. But you know who does? Chastain. I'm
Yep.
all about a selfish driver, man. And I don't really knock a driver who's not selfish.
And my thing is, I could even understand, like, hey, if you don't like Chastain, okay, fair enough. But I'm not the biggest fan of Logano, but I know that the guy is going to race and get everything he can for that car.
There's many a times
I don't fault him for that. I just don't like Logano.
There's many a times I booed Logano, but I do respect the fact that the guy is so selfish and wants to win every race.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
man,
I agree. I mean, like even, like you said, being willing to even wreck teammates or put teammates at risk for crashing or
in
whatever
difficult situations.
in difficult situations. I mean, like we were talking about, we were just watching it earlier today. We were showing Lewis the 500 where he throws that nasty block on Brad.
Yeah.
And attempt to win the race and is like, records or checkers. You know what I mean?
Records are checkers, man.
So
It's like, no, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
Are you about it or not?
I am not about it. I think we're pretty fair here. We call out people when they do something dumb, and we praise them when they win a race. Next
Yeah.
week we might hate Kyle Busch. It is what it is. But it seems like there's a constant, like you were saying, negative connotation,
Like
towards
stereotype
Chastain.
almost.
Yeah, always. Whenever Chastain's involved, it's always it's not even like they're trying to be funny about it, like, oh, Chastain's there again. We're gonna, look what he did. It's like, no, they're kind of serious. They're like, oh, Chastain wrecked someone else. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just too much.
Even some
know?
of the Fox people I see on Twitter, and I'm like, why? Like, that's just,
They're just
Let it be
stretching
a racing deal. Like, why
Yeah.
are you trying to make it into something else? It's two guys going super hard. McDowell on old tires. You have Chastain on fresh. Like, what do you like? Come on, man. It's
Yeah.
a racing deal.
Now, hey, when it's his fault, it's his fault.
Oh yeah.
Call him out.
And
Do
we're
what you
gonna
do.
and,
We have
we're,
Call him
and,
out.
and we're gonna make the flag that says so.
Yeah, it's rightfully so. But like when it's not warranted, like you're just pushing.
But at the same time, like Denny Hamlin, like we were all a little butthurt last year when he put Chastain into the fence, or he made Chastain,
He put him in a compromised position.
yeah, at Pocono, right?
Yep. Where he
But
had
at,
to
at
lift.
hindsight, I want Denny Hamlin to do that.
Yeah.
I want him to
Yeah.
be selfish and
Yeah.
be like racing for that's racing for the lead, for the win.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, that's what I want.
I mean, I'll listen to the opinion of Fox Sports once they get their broadcast actually like working.
Okay.
Oh,
You know,
Facts.
oh, I didn't put that in the show sheet today, but man,
spicy.
there was all kinds of stuff.
Is that
between-
in the about it or not,
No, should we just go ahead and talk about it?
dude?
That would mean a fifth topic. So I mean,
I'm
I'm
just
not
glad
gonna
the
lie.
entire nation now knows what we go through on a weekly basis.
I mean, you know it's bad when we're like, okay, it's 10 laps to go. Let's reset the app
to make
just
sure
to make sure it doesn't crash, to increase our chances of it not crashing.
basically
and
that's
that's
what
still
they-
not a guarantee.
That's
Every-
what they were doing. They just decided to fully reset just to make sure they could finish the broadcast.
Send it to the anchors up in the
Basically.
Okay,
booth.
we had a caution. Let's reset the broadcast.
yeah. Who did a Windows update? That's what I want to know.
No, I mean, it's like the Rolex 24. I watched the entirety of it on Peacock. It never crashed.
No.
Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
you got to get this act
Now,
together. Like,
supposedly-
and it's not just NASCAR. It's a Fox issue.
Yeah.
No
Now I
matter
will say,
what I'm watching.
I will say to defend them.
NFL season.
Supposedly, according to Fox, so who knows how true this is? It was not their fault. It was It was a problem with the AT&T service.
Yeah, they
or
should have
something.
used Xfinity.
That's what I'm saying.
10G.
Like,
Makes sense.
I mean,
I'm just saying the Here for the Speed studio uses Xfinity.
Cheers.
Not a sponsor.
I got 1 terabyte internet here.
There you go.
There you go.
It only goes down in a hurricane, which is fair. I mean, come on, it's Florida.
you're probably going to be out of power, honestly, out here
I
on
mean,
the
yeah, I
mountain.
think that's probably why I'm down.
So
That's funny. I mean, all I'm gonna say is we're counting down the days until the NBC broadcast.
Literally one
Like,
more week.
We're like, oh my gosh,
We're literally planning a celebration for the last week of Fox.
I'm not gonna lie. I just looked at my.
Yeah.
I just looked at the cover for the actual live show, and it's the Chastain hitting the NASCAR NASCAR broadcast booth.
That was hilarious.
Thanks, Ross.
Yeah, thanks, Ross. Hashtag.
You're a hero.
All right, so
Does he do that every week? Is that the thing? Is that why our app keeps
That's
crashing?
every time.
Hey, I mentioned
gosh,
this
the labs, he
earlier.
just
I
takes it
mentioned
out.
this earlier while we were watching the race. I'm not sure if everyone heard me, but I'll say it again on the cast just for everyone listening and watching. I've never seen Ross Chastain on the screen when the broadcast goes off. So maybe
Putting
he'd
on
be-
my tinfoil hat.
maybe he really do be crashing
And
into
it's
the
on
into
now.
the
Oh my
Fox
gosh.
booth or whatever it is.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to our next topic. Brake rotor failures.
Lots of them.
Yeah, Matt, about it, not about it.
I'm totally about it.
All right, Jeff.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, it's kind of, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of refreshing seeing something like that as kind of a surprise in the race. You know, for a while, I think these cars were kind of running, and the only time something would break is if they obviously got into an accident. Usually they were talking about the track bar or something to go with the wheel wells, because that seems to be the highest, which, surprise, surprise, the brake rotors are right in the wheel wells.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of refreshing just for the fact that you kind of have those random DNFs throughout the race. And that's something that we had a lot with in the Gen 6 car. There would just be parts, just
Random things.
things happened. Engines blew up, parts blew up. I remember watching, I want to say it was a Daytona race, but I can't remember exactly, where Joey Logano had the same thing. He had a brake rotor blow up, and he ran into the back of, I want to say it was Armarola, and it's just,
Yeah.
something happened, you know. But with these cars, you don't see that much anymore. You can't rely on those DNFs. For our case, in the fantasy league, where it's
Yeah.
like, man, you didn't want to pick a driver that was known to have a DNF for part failures. You kind of wanted to play it a little bit more safer, just so all your guys finished. you know, kind of.
That was where Austin Dillon came in.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it worked. You know, sometimes for super speedways, you pick some of the guys in the back.
Yeah.
You pick some of the Rick Ware cars, your Michael McDowell, your
Oh,
Austin Dillons, 'cause
I'd never
they
pick
are-
Rick Ware ever.
They're survivors.
Well, they're better this year.
You know,
This
so
year's been a
it's-
different
It's just
story.
one of those toss-ups. I thought it was refreshing, just kind
Yeah.
of seeing it. Feel bad for all the wrecks because, man, it looked like some of them were really rough. I obviously don't want to have any drivers hurt or anything like that. So, hey, safety.
Some of the hits
let's
look
keep
hard.
let's keep getting that data for safety. But it is what it is, man. That's just hard racing.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with Matt. Especially on the idea, like, I don't want anyone getting hurt. I mean, this is an inherently dangerous sport. These guys know what they signed up for. But we know that the issues with the next gen car from last year, it's kind of hurt some people. So we know that. But that also being said, I like the attrition. I said that earlier in the podcast, but I like the attrition. I like that it puts an emphasis on having to take care of your car, not just your tires. We talk
Everything.
about tire wear and things like that
Brakes.
all the time. Managing fuel, like we talk about that all the time. But I mean, brakes is an underrated thing, especially at tracks like this. I don't know if you consider this a short track, but
Technically, no.
technically no.
It is
but
considered an
But as
intermediate.
far as like that style of racing, like Phoenix, where you have to watch your brakes and you have to like take care of those and you have to be mindful of that. And if you're going on these super long runs where there's not cautions or there's not pit stops, where there's not time for you to cool down your brakes, it can cause issues. And like we saw a lot of people running their cars hard today. One of them that really surprised me, it took me by surprise specifically, was you had Bubba running pretty solid all day long. Not top 5 material, I would say, but definitely cracked the top 10 a bunch, stayed within the top 15 a bunch from what I saw, and just had an opportunity for a great finish, and just it happened.
Yeah.
Brake went out and just smacked the wall, and it was very frustrating. You could see the frustration on his face, but I think that's what makes NASCAR. I think that's a really important part of that, and I really enjoyed.
So are you about it,
Enjoyed it.
not about it then?
I mean, I'm about. Yeah, I guess I'm about it. I don't really know how to answer that question. I guess I'm about the parts failures being a factor to
part of the
put into
race.
account. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
heartless.
I'm a terrible person.
Jake, you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm about it. It's kind of a throwback to the old days, man, where you got to take care of your stuff. Last year, we didn't really see any brake rotor failures.
I think they
don't
were still
think
learning
of.
the car.
Well, I mean, I think you see guys getting more aggressive with the setups because I don't think there's been a major change in the brake rotors that I'm aware of that would, kind of instigate this. So,
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah, I mean, I'm about teams pushing it to the limit and crossing the line,
Yeah.
I mean, they've done that forever back in the 50s when they would, push the car so hard, and at the early Darlington races where the tires wouldn't hold, so they went out and paid people for their truck tires so they can make the laps. Like, I'm about it. How could you not be?
Yeah.
I love the attrition and the parts failures.
I'm about it. I think in
Let me say, not at the cost of hurting a driver,
of course.
but
Yeah. I mean, fortunately,
for the competition of it all, pushing it
Yeah.
to the edge.
I think fortunately right now, at least for now, everybody seems to be okay so far. Noah looked a little banged up, so I don't know. I hope he's okay, but he seemed a little banged up, so I hope he gets checked out and he's good. But everyone seems good, so that's a good thing. But the brake rotor thing, I think this is a problem specifically with the brake rotors. I don't know if I'd say this is a problem with the brake rotors. I think it's just a product of having a track that's this type of layout. You have very long straightaways. Okay, so you have high speeds, very very high speeds, and very flat corners. So they're going to be hard on those brakes, especially in the turns 1 and 2, which is the tighter of the two or of the sets of turns here. Turns 1 and 2 to get in there. I mean, they're going from 5th gear all the way down into 3rd in most cases, probably cutting their speed pretty much in half, and they're doing that over and over and over again. And eventually, these rotors they're metal, so they fatigue over time. So obviously, they're gonna fail. So yeah, I don't know if there's a way they gotta look at it if this is a problem that they need to worry about. But I mean, it definitely makes the race more interesting. It's something else drivers have to manage. It's really kind of helps show those drivers that are the more of your veteran drivers. It's going to show that they're going to usually be able to be out there and manage their stuff a little bit better. So I think it's a good thing in all in all.
Yeah, I do want to go back to what Jeff said before about how it seems like the summer stretch, like there is no more lull anymore. You know, there used to be forever. I mean, you know this watching racing for a long time. The first quarter of the year, awesome. The last quarter of the year, typically pretty good. The middle of the year,
Yeah.
a grind.
Mid.
Like just a grind. Let's just get through Kansas, Kentucky, through this, through that, whatever. Like that's just gone. Like the racetracks are so dynamic across the board. Like, I mean, what Charlotte last week, different than Gateway this week.
I can't wait.
Different than
Pocono.
Sonoma this week. Whatever. I
triangle,
mean, I'm
it's
excited.
amazing.
I'm excited for Pocono too. But like, it's just the variety of the schedule. Like, there's no more summer lull anymore.
Well, it says
It's gone.
It says something that
Street course,
yeah,
Chicago street course, first ever.
but it says something
We're gonna
about
get
going
Atlanta
back to like
Atlanta's coming up.
Atlanta night race.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's gonna be sick. But going back to like I mean, I've been watching racing since like 2001 or 2002, and one of the things I always think about is like, oh, it's Kansas this week,
Yeah.
or it's whatever. And like at least the last 2 to 3 years, over the course of its its evolution, like I get excited for Kansas. I get excited for these, cookie cutter tracks or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call them.
That's
And I'm
true.
like, man, it's like every race has been solid, or every race has something to walk away from it and be like, man, that was pretty.
I
sweet
think
for
there's
the
only
most part.
one race I'm not like looking forward to, and that's probably Richmond. Other than that, like I'm excited for every week.
Have we gone to Richmond once already?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't Richmond actually pretty good?
It was really good.
I mean, it was.
I won't say really good. It was okay.
It was
good.
better.
It was better. It
Yeah.
was definitely better.
Yeah. So
Matt
Um,
thinks it was really good.
was
Brad
best race
probably
of the
did
year.
pretty good there.
I think he did actually. I think he was like top 3.
he might have been. All right, so let's move on to our last topic. So Chase Briscoe gets hit with a whopper of a penalty. NASCAR penalized Chase Briscoe 125 driver points and the number 14 team 125 owner points, while docking the team also also docking them 25 playoff points. Crew chief is suspended for 6 races and fined $250,000. Let's go with Jake. Let's go with you first. About it,
I'm
not about it.
I mean, I'm about the penalty, right? You have to do the penalty. But I'm not about the team playing outside of the gray area. I mean, the team specifically asked for this car, spec parts, all these things. All the big teams, all your major players, all asked for this to stop them from playing outside of the.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they asked for this, and you did it anyways to run 20th. I'm not about it. That's it. That's all I got to say.
That's fair.
And I say that like we
I
met,
guess that's not all you have to say.
well, like we met Chase Briscoe, man. Like, it
He's a
makes
cool
me
guy.
kind of sad, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm reflecting back on this, like when we met him, like you could
Tinfoil
kind of
hats,
see,
get him
like,
out.
no, hold on, like you could kind of see, like he wasn't exactly super stoked for this year. Like they knew they were behind
Yeah.
from the get go when we met him at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was excited, but you could tell he had some reservations,
Yeah.
Interesting.
and I kind of see that.
I chalked it up to just him being like a pretty chill guy, and he probably does those
Some
events
of
all
the
the
things
time.
that he talked about, like when we asked him when we were talking about like what races he was looking forward to, they were not aero tracks, they were not road courses,
Mm-hmm.
they were tracks like driver tracks where they could really make a difference. And they're like, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, like reviewing it in
Did he
hindsight.
say his least favorite track Sonoma?
He did.
I probably would not pick him this week.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
pick him.
don't.
Watch him win.
I'm gonna put a note on my phone here real quick.
Do not pick Briscoe.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, this just goes back to the
It's
Stuart
hard to
Haas
say.
problem. But like, you could kind of almost see some of that, knowing they got a tough road ahead,
Yeah.
and then
It's gonna
for
be a
them
rough year.
to, I mean, to make a counterfeit part for 20th,
It makes no sense.
man, I don't.
What are you trying?
It's literally the the death penalty for this team.
I
for
don't
the
know.
rest of
I
the year.
feel like you
Thi-
could see
what-
something.
what-
Sorry.
What's the penalty? $250,000.
250,000.
The owner's points is going to result in probably over $1 million
Yeah.
because they're going to be so down in the owner points payout at the end of the year. This is $1 million penalty.
And the thing is, that Stuart Haas is already in trouble.
big trouble, man.
They're
Like,
already looking
and
rough.
I'm gonna say, like, right, the rumors of Josh Berry. Josh Berry is not the answer.
No,
Like, for them to pursue Josh Berry, I think is a mistake.
I wouldn't say Josh
They don't.
Berry.
You need
no.
to go out and spend the money and get you a veteran guy. I mean, who is that? I don't know. All the veteran guys are locked up. Kyle Larson's not going anywhere. Logano, Kyle Busch, they're not leaving.
I don't think anybody.
I
I
still
can't think of
see-
any
Not
veteran
really.
drivers.
That's what I'm saying.
McDowell?
Stewart, no.
kinda
Maybe
What's
buy out.
Stewart, what's McDowell gonna do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I'm just saying other
Your guy,
drivers.
your make a difference guys.
No, there's no.
They're
none of
not
them.
going anywhere.
You'd have to bring up from below. So you're not going to.
Who would be the guy to go there? What's your only hope? Sign Barry to the 10 and keep Kevin Harvick.
Zane.
That's not going to happen.
Zane Smith.
Stuart Haas next year.
I don't know.
Man, dude, I'm worried about Stuart Haas.
I don't know. I could see them. I mean,
That was more than one.
Plot
kinda
twist.
talked
Plot
about
twist.
it.
They shine up with Toyota.
I don't think so.
No, there's no way that's happening.
I was kind of wondering.
Roush is not leaving Ford.
We were talking about how it was a while ago, but I mean, they could drop down to 3 cars, maybe 2 cars.
What if they sell one to Junior Motorsports?
Junior, I was just about to bring it up. It's
That'd be a good,
that might be where Junior
deal.
gets his charters from if
Maybe.
it sticks around.
They might be a little oversaturated for 4 cars.
Yeah, I mean they can't find the drivers.
I don't think
Maybe
Cole,
they can't
I
find
don't think
drivers,
Cole
I don't know.
Custer was the problem. I just think Stuart Haas is just missing. I don't know what it is. Kevin Harvick's still running decent, but he's
Yeah,
not
but
running
that's-
great.
but that's
Kevin
Kevin
Harvick's,
Harvick.
but he's not running like he's a 4-car team. He got
Agreed.
outpaced by Daniel Suarez today.
The only people you can really
2-car team.
connect
Yeah.
Stuart Haas to is Penske because they're both Ford teams.
Yeah, but do they share stuff?
I don't know. I'm
he's
not
saying,
doing
he's
it.
saying as a comparison.
As a comparison.
No, I see what
they're
you're
both
saying.
Fords. Logano and Blaney, they're
Great.
doing good. They're doing good. They
Austin
both got to win.
Austin Cindric still has a lot to learn.
He's still about probably
wrecking
on
everyone.
par or better than
Again,
SHR.
he was good in Xfinity, and it's not translating over. He's got a tough learning
Yeah,
curve.
but give him a couple years.
He's
that,
got a
that
tough
might
learning
that
curve.
might eventually pan out
Could be.
because he was a good sports car racer.
Good.
Gen 6, great road course racer in Gen 6. Turn
Yeah.
your phone audio off or your cell phone or your laptop audio.
Get it out of here.
Poor Drizzle. But no, I mean, they could just comparing the 2 Ford teams, the 2 top-notch Ford teams. I mean, one is clearly doing better than the other.
If you're Stuart
And I mean,
Haas,
Ford,
what
I
do you,
think-
what do, you
I
do
think-
if you're Stuart Haas?
Sell 2 charters. I mean, how else are you going to make up those $1 million deficit?
Yeah,
I don't
know, man.
All
I'm
right,
worried about
let's-
Stuart Haas.
let's
Sorry,
just-
We
we're-
got off on a tangent.
We're running
Sorry.
long, but where's everyone at? So you're what? What are you about it or not about it overall, Jake? Real quick, just so we can.
Just not about the teams asking for this specific set of rules and guidelines and then breaking them.
Gotcha.
Not
All right.
about it.
I'm about the enforcement of the rule. I think it is. I feel a little overkill as far as the whole rule, like the whole penalty as a whole. It is like Jake said, the death penalty of the year. But I mean, they knew what the rules were going into
Biggest
it, though.
penalty of Gen 7 so far.
Yeah, and they said that, if Chase wanted to win the championship, he would have to win once in every single round plus the championship
Can
race.
I say
that's pretty crazy.
I do disagree with you on overkill because NASCAR said very blatantly at the beginning of last year, if you counterfeit a part, this is the penalty.
Yeah,
They legitimately, intentionally counterfeited the part.
oh yeah, I'm not saying
Fake
that they're
stickers,
not.
fake
yeah.
everything. They tried to fake a part.
Yep.
Let's just be clear about that.
Oh yeah, like I'm definitely not disagreeing. I'm just saying that it's kind of like it seems a little much, like to virtually end a season over
Yeah, it's the
one
death
thing.
penalty.
But I mean,
I
don't
bet
know,
you
that's
that
my
team
take,
loses
but-
money this year.
but yeah, Matt, you said you're about it.
Oh, I'm about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it just like you were saying, they enforced it. They made it very clear. I mean, with all the wishy-washiness we've had with penalties,
things.
taking away penalties. Oh, you're going to get hit, but you're not going to get hit. We're going to try to rectify and make it all better. Like, no. Boom. You're hit.
Yeah.
You know
Get
what?
out of here.
You know what pleads guilt? Not trying to.
Didn't even try.
Didn't even
They're out.
try to
So
fight it.
I'll say this. I'm 100% about this because I'm sorry. the rules are the rules, and this is not like a judgment call. Like, oh, you broke the rule. I am 100% for NASCAR. Absolutely, just decimating them with this thing.
No mercy.
No, because the thing is if you're someone like Hendricks, right, and you think you can get away with it, is it worth the money? Because Hendricks could afford it. Is it worth that for them to try it? You need to make it to where these penalties, especially something like a counterfeit part, that is about as blatant as it gets. A counterfeit part on your car to where it's such a bad penalty they don't even want to try. Clearly, they should make it stronger because they still tried it.
I don't think anyone else is going to try it all year.
Not anymore.
I mean,
Maybe
Brad
next year,
last
but-
year.
But see, that wasn't a counterfeit part.
It wasn't a counterfeit.
That
That
was-
was a
it was
repaired part, but it was
You try to fix it.
repaired in advantage.
But it was
Of
the
course.
same. It was the same concept.
You're not going to repair it in a way that would disadvantage
Of course not.
Yeah, but it was the same concept of like they knew what the rules
No,
were.
no,
They
no,
knew
no.
what the.
This is way different. To
You
me,
think
this
so?
is way different.
I do.
To me, this is you are making a brand new part
I think that's why.
that is supposed to be a spec part, not repairing.
I think
a spec
that's
part.
why
You made-
the crew
a
chief was
counterfeit is a
suspended.
brand new part.
Well, I was meaning more of a concept of like enforcing the rule. Like,
Yeah.
they laid out the rule prior, they broke it, and they got hit with it. Which
Yeah. Oh, I
that
see
was
what
and
you're
that was
saying. Yeah,
virtually the death penalty for Brad's team
It
last
was.
year.
It was.
So it was the as far as this year, I'm about it because it's enforcing the rule. But it does seem a little much in my mind. But like as far as if that's what they said, that's what they
That's
said.
what the
So,
rules
This
are.
is
what it is.
the definition of
Yeah.
mess around and find out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
So, all right. So that has been our about it, not about it section. That was probably the longest one we've ever had.
We can keep going.
We probably could, but we do need to wrap this thing up at some point. So let's move on to our next section, which is the Kuzmin and Friends question of the week. You guys are going to make fun of me for saying the Kuzmin and Friends thing, aren't you?
No?
No, I thought,
No,
I
I
think
thought it
it's
was
cool.
legit.
Oh, okay. I just been saying it and no one's ever said anything to stop me, so I just kept going with it.
Oh, we would let you know if we didn't like it.
That is true. All right. So, this is our Kuzmin and Friends question of the week. So, if you guys have your questions that you'd like to see us answer on the show, if you think of anything throughout the week, shoot us a message over on Twitter. If it's something that we think is interesting, we'll add it to the show and talk about it. So, Jake, you want to read Mr. Ryan Kuzmin's question?
What race would you tell a person who's never been to a NASCAR race before to go to or watch?
Oh.
Let's change it up.
Wait,
a
hold
little.
on. Time out. Is it any race in history?
Hold on. No.
No.
No,
If-
Like,
it's
I'm
a
gonna change it up
track.
a little bit. If you're gonna take somebody brand new to go to a race with you, where would you take them?
and assuming they've never seen a race, I'm
Yep.
going to say.
Current gen, like this season?
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
Like
if
this
if
year. This
Someone,
year.
someone you meet now says, I want to go in the next year.
Should I? answer?
Gateway.
Whatever track Brad
I would
won
have
last.
to say with how our season is right now, it's really hard not to choose the Coke 400 just for the fact that it's
Hold
the
on. Coke Zero?
Sure.
No.
Yeah, whatever you want.
No. I mean, like, which track
Are
are
you
we
talking about the
Daytona.
They don't.
The
Okay,
cutoff
Coke,
race at
cutoff
Daytona.
race.
Coke Zero Sugar 400.
That is such an intense, high pressure, high stakes, crazy environment race. You're gonna get into it. Like there's no way you can't. I mean, last year, they were all racing for the lead, and they were hoping that rain wasn't in turn one, and there was rain in turn one. They all wrecked, and then they were red flagged, and Blaney was gonna make it, and Truex was out, or it was the other way around. Truex was out, Blaney was in, and they decided to go racing again. 25 laps to go, and then it all switched. It was just super entertaining. It was high pressure. Everyone was on the edge of their seats the whole time. I would say either that one or just a fun race, just one where there's not a lot of pressure, almost like the Clash. I mean, the Clash seems like it has a lot of potential.
Seems like a fun environment.
Yeah, just more or less a fun environment. I think that's kind of
It's like a
Where I'm
party, and
getting
there's
at.
a race at the party.
exactly.
I think we're all a little biased
Of
because
course.
I think we all have the same idea of what we want to say.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say a
But
track that we haven't been
it's
to.
it's hard to not say Daytona just because like obviously we've actually done that with people with our friend Lewis who first full-time NASCAR season, really following and stuff like that. You know, that's what we did with him last year. We took him to the August Daytona race, and he had a blast. And that was, I think that was his first race, right?
He didn't even
So-
see the race.
Yeah.
He
had to
saw. He
leave.
saw.
Well,
the
he
Xfinity
saw
race.
the Xfinity race. So I mean, but that's still a NASCAR race. So
Yeah.
like as far as encompassing the weekend and not just the track, or
I
not
think
just Cup. but,
Daytona also has a really great facility, and I think
it's-
that
that's
honestly
very true.
helps.
that's
that
very
helps
good.
a lot.
It's, I mean, like
There's so much to do there.
we go to a decent amount of races, you know, a year. And I remember, I think it was last year, or the year before, Jake and I went to like collectively like 7 races across the Southeast somewhere. And it was just fun. But like, I think I'm gonna say Daytona or Atlanta. Atlanta's good too, especially with the new package, being more of a super speedway. I really enjoyed the last time we went to, last couple times we've been to Atlanta. So those are both really good options, but Daytona is very clean. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you go to some of these tracks and they're kind of ratty and ghetto, and then you go to Daytona, you're like, man, this is really nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts.
I'm
But-
gonna throw. I'm gonna say it was not that hard for me to come up with this one. Texas.
Oh my god.
Bro, what?
No, I'm totally kidding.
I was about to be like, hey, yo.
I just wanted to see.
Don't go with
Get him
DJ.
outta here.
Can you tell I'm the life of the party? No. Anyway, so no, I think I
I don't know. It's hard to say without.
It
We
is-
haven't been
it
to
is-
every track,
yeah,
so
it's
it's kind
tough
of
to
hard to
say.
say what would be the.
As far as going and trying to get them hooked into NASCAR, it is hard to compete with a super speedway race in any way. So that is, I mean, Daytona. But to be honest, if they do a 400-mile race at Charlotte, I would say that's probably the one to bring someone to, just because Charlotte has, I mean, apparently has proven to be one of the best tracks we got based on the Coke 600, and at least the last couple of years at least. So I think that one's good. A short track would be nice, but other than the Clash, the problem with me picking the Clash is that the rules are too confusing, I think, for a new person. With all the like last chance
Yeah.
qualifiers and like the short track format, it's very
Heats.
confusing.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I did think about, if I have to pick a like race or a couple of races, I'm going to say the duels, because they're short, action packed usually. There's usually one that's really good, and there's usually one that's kind of but there's usually at least one that's a really just nuts of a race. And it's short enough that if someone's new, it gives them just enough of a taste to where they're like, ooh, I want to watch more of this again. But it's not like
They're not
dragging
stuck
on
there
and
for
you're
4 hours.
standing in the sun, and it's usually at night if I'm not mistaken. So it's usually more comfortable. You know, it's just, so if I had to say one, I'd say the duels at Daytona.
Yeah,
Jake,
sure.
what do you got?
Bad. So if I'm taking somebody with me to a race, we're going camping. So
That's
yeah.
true.
with that mentality, yeah, it has to be probably either Daytona or Bristol.
I knew you were gonna say Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, there's just
Bristol was a party.
Daytona, like the atmosphere in the infield. Like you could stay in the infield for 5 days and never get bored.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, you can just have a blast, cooking, grilling at
That's
your
what I plan on
campsite,
doing.
too.
Meet all kinds of people.
hanging out around. Like, yeah, it's just so many people in there. Like you can have a blast literally inside the racetrack, and then just Bristol, the area around Bristol is so incredible. The racing at Bristol, you can see everything. It feels so small in comparison to Daytona, but it has to be one of those two. I mean, I just love both of them.
So
much.
Kuzman, Jake and Lindsay, I believe, have been to Darlington.
We have.
yeah.
Darlington was super fun. We went one time. It had the most cautions ever. It was a 5.5 hour
What,
race.
18
It
or
was
something?
the first ever throwback race. I think it was 2017.
It was like, what, 18 cautions or something?
I don't even know, dude.
I remember watching it because
It
I was like,
was
I'm going to
a
watch
bunch.
it. And, dude, it was like
The
12
whole-
o'clock at night, and they were midway through the race, and I'm like, I'm going to bed.
All of turn 3 and 4 was just a black stripe all the way around.
Yeah,
But
that was
no,
wild.
Darlington was super fun. I do love and would definitely want to go back to Darlington one day.
One of my fondest.
I want to go back
memories-
to the Coke
Well,
600 now.
One of my fondest memories of watching the Southern 500 was like it was a couple years ago, and Eric Jones won the race, but it was at like it was late. It was like 2:30 in the
probably.
morning or whatever it was. I was like, oh my god, bro. I was like sitting there falling asleep watching that race. But
What would be a race?
Yeah.
What would be a track you guys want to go to?
Watkins Glen.
I'm
No,
gonna-
hands down.
man.
Out of all the tracks on the circuit, you get to go to one.
Daytona.
Only one.
You know, I think this is going to be a really hard choice.
One,
I'd
one,
bet
That's one
pick-
question.
one rate, one
No.
track.
Yeah, DJ, go first.
I don't know. I'm
Do
still.
you have one
thinking.
in mind, Matt?
Pocono all day.
Oh,
How could you not?
back on this again.
Pocono all day. It's a triangle.
I think Martinsville, man. I've never been to Martinsville.
I'd love to go
Really?
to.
For the cutoff race before the playoffs, because
was-
it's always always
was.
super
I don't
intense.
No, man.
Just because it's always a
the
good
Brickyard
race.
would be really cool to go to.
The Brickyard
Yeah,
would be.
that'd
Bring back-
Actually, wait,
but I
are we
would-
saying?
the
Are we saying?
real.
Wait. Are we saying any race?
Any race.
Indy
Oh,
500, hands down.
Yep.
No,
I
no,
was
no.
gonna say.
Hands down.
NASCAR. Any
Oh.
NASCAR
Oh, no, I don't want to
race.
go to the Brickyard then.
No,
not the road course.
I
was
haven't.
gonna
I haven't
say-
seen it yet on the Gen 6.
I was gonna say Fontana, just because I want to.
She gone, Jeff.
I
She
know.
gone.
I
She
don't think
gone.
so. But I would have loved to have seen it before
She
it's
gone.
gone.
Let it
but
go.
Yeah. But it's a
Honestly,
good race.
right now,
Last couple
if I
years.
could go see anything, it would be Coke 600 next year for NASCAR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, bro.
I
a good one.
will. I will say that
That's
I,
been a barn burner for 2 years straight.
I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be a weird reason. I'm gonna say Sonoma, and the only reason I'm gonna say Sonoma,
Can somebody unplug his mic?
I control this. I can mute all of you guys. No, the only reason I say Sonoma is because growing up, I played a lot of Gran Turismo, and
Yeah.
Sonoma was one of the main tracks in that game.
So I
So,
love Sonoma. But
In that case, I'd love to be able to see a track that I've technically raced at hours on to see it in person.
so my struggle with going to a road course like that is you can't see the whole track,
True, I agree.
and there's nothing like watching a
I'd love to
battle
go to
for the
any track.
lead, and then
It disappears around a
yeah,
corner.
that'd be okay.
Ain't nothing better than a triangle.
Oh my
My God. When is he gonna get
No,
off
so
this
to
subject?
be honest, honestly, any track, I'd be cool with going to pretty much anything. But Sonoma, just because
Texas.
Texas.
I
Honestly,
thought you were going to say Texas.
Texas might be really good here in a couple of years. Watch out.
For some
I
reason,
got
heard it
family.
here-
I
you
got
heard it
family
here
in Texas,
first.
so
for some reason in my
hey.
head, I keep thinking of this the Jeffrey Dean Morgan meme when he's playing as Negan from Walking Dead. And every time, out of all the NASCAR tracks I've been to, Daytona is by far the cleanest and the nicest facility.
Beautiful
And
facility.
and it's
It
just
really is.
for some reason I just have it ingrained in my head where he goes in there and he's like, hot diggity dog, this place is magnificent. and that just keeps replaying in my head when we were talking about when
Daytona
we mentioned the
is a
tracks. Because
really
some of these
nice
tracks,
facilities.
they're fun to watch when you're in the stands and all this and that, and then you go into the midway and you're like, oh.
I don't know, man. We love Daytona so much. We're
Bias.
literally counting down the days to when we go down in August. It's just
10 weeks.
11.
11 weeks.
11 weeks.
And you roll down in the RV, back
Can't
in
wait,
black,
man.
playing. in the
Yeah, as soon as
background.
we go through the tunnel, got
Yep.
the back in black cranking, and just the whole thing. It's the bathrooms and just the facilities and the grandstands. The whole thing is just, it's hard not. I mean, we always talk about how lucky we feel to live to the
Oh.
close to the greatest racetrack.
So
in the
fun
country.
little story I'll throw out because Kuzman's asking about us. We camp on the infield and stuff like that. So Kuzman, funny story. We have a Ross Chastain "Don't Give an F" tour flag that we made. We were flying it. NASCAR told us to take it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
came over and said
and we took it down.
For
NASCAR
about-
left
for about 6 minutes.
and then immediately put it back up.
So yeah.
Well, they gave
Unfortunately,
us a
they won't
story.
show us anymore.
Yeah, they gave us a story. They said, "Oh, it's a promotional shot, and we can't have something with foul language on it." But it didn't say the F word; it had the F, and then
Star.
It was bleeped
star,
out.
star.
It was bleeped out.
it was bleeped out technically.
Yeah.
So we were like, "Okay, we understand. We got to take it down." Blah blah blah.
The guy
And
guy
then-
that came and told us was like, I really don't want to take it down because it's such a good
Well,
flag.
no, what he said. Remember what he said was he was told there was an inappropriate flag in turn 1, and he came by, drove around, didn't see anything, and then he called back and said, "I don't see anything inappropriate," because they're probably looking for some other type of flag, like a Southern flag or
Right,
something like
something.
that. And they're like, "No, there's a Ross Chastain flag that has to come down." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I saw
I
that
did
one
see that
because
one.
it's literally pinned on the front of our RV, right where the windshields are. You can't miss it." And we're like, "Okay, we understand. We're not trying to cause trouble or get thrown out or anything." So later, we also had shirts made that said the same exact thing, and we were a little bit more cautious wearing them around the speedway, like in the track. And we were all sitting in the chairs. I think we were there for maybe the Xfinity race. We were there
No,
for
it
a
was,
day.
it was the next day
It was the next day.
on Sunday for the
And
Coke 400.
One of the camera guys that was
NASCAR
hired
photographer.
came up. He's like, "That is amazing. I love your shirt. Can we get photos?" And we're just looking at each other like, "Really?" And we're like, "We have a flag too." And we pull this flag out of the backpack, and we're all holding up the flag. And he took a photo of all of us with the.
By the way, they never posted
They
any
never-
photos.
You know they were.
That guy might have gotten fired. I don't know.
Kuzman, I will say,
He airdropped into himself.
Kuzman, 20 hours is a long drive, but that means it's a short flight.
Yeah.
There you go.
Got a
Hey,
rental,
there's
got a rental
there's
car
that,
hookup.
No, there's that. Where,
I feel like
you
that
say he's
math
from
meme
Minnesota,
right now
right?
where it's like
Huh?
Minnesota, right?
What?
That's where Kuzman's from.
I don't know. Kuzman, where are you from?
northwest, he said, or northeast, or
Yeah,
I thought
the Midwest.
We have a
that's the
Somewhere
word.
with snow.
we just for the record, we have dudes that drove down from Canada. We have dudes that drove down that one
New York.
for that one lady.
Eddie from Brooklyn.
Eddie, Brooklyn, no sleep till Eddie.
It's a party.
No, but there's that one lady who is like obsessed with Jimmy Johnson. That's from Minnesota.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
from a long way.
Yeah, drives down here in a rental car.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
He's from Minnesota.
No excuses, Kuzman.
Man, your chat's faster than mine.
Well, it's because
Computer
No
versus a phone.
excuses.
that's because I'm literally hosting it.
That's right.
Whatever.
Anyway, all right. So
We'll have some caution tape
Kuzman.
waiting for you.
Get a flight. Get a hotel. Come down, and hang out with us.
We'll have some
in
caution
Daytona.
tape waiting for you.
Be the rookie.
Be the
What's
Yeah.
that, what's that special drink? What's it called?
Oh, it's the
Malort.
Malort.
Oh,
Delicious. You'll love it.
Don't trust them.
has anyone ever had Beverly at the Coke place at Epcot?
It's just club soda. It's not.
No,
that bad.
it's way better than that.
Anyway, next week's race, we are going to Sonoma. So
we
what?
aren't.
Okay, NASCAR's going to Sonoma. Jeez,
Unless you bought a ticket.
I'm gonna
Something
talk
you
to y'all
wanna
later.
tell us?
Yeah, y'all got to figure out this podcast thing next week because I'm.
Yeah, by the way,
Matt's like the.
hold
I
on.
can push them.
We've gotten so technologically advanced. You cannot miss a week now.
I know.
The three of us can, but you cannot.
Yeah, I know.
Matt's at
We
the,
can even host it in my basement, but you cannot miss.
Matt's
Exactly.
the dad. Matt's the dad that's like, where DJ's like, oh, can we do this? And then Matt's like, can we? Instead of baby or whatever.
Can we? I don't know. Can you? like we okay. For example, we had that meme that we tried to. Matt was like, "I got this great idea," and I'm like, "I can see if I can throw it together." Dude, it took me like what, a minute, and I was like, "Does this look good, Matt?" Matt's like, "That's perfect."
Yeah.
It was really good though.
It was funny.
Can
was
we?
good.
We do have a dilemma.
What?
The off weekend. We taking the weekend off?
No,
There's an off.
let's do something. Let's have fun. I don't know.
There's got to be some kind of
We'll,
racing.
Okay.
we'll do some kind of episode.
We could do an iRacing.
Let's see what you
tournament.
got, Flow Racing.
Oh gosh, no, actually,
God.
I'm not gonna do that because I just was like, oh yeah, we could do an iRacing tournament. We could like broadcast like our laps, and then I was like, oh, I'd have to figure out how to broadcast someone's computer. It's like I don't want to do that. Anyway, so Sonoma, what are we looking forward to?
I mean, Fox being done for the year.
That's the highlight.
Fox's last race. Yay!
I think Sonoma actually might be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it, especially with the no stage cautions, because I feel like the
That'll
stage
help.
cautions kind of put a damper on Sonoma last year. So some natural caution, dirt on the racetrack because it's very dry this time of year. Like it'd be interesting to see kind of Sonoma to get a throwback to what it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
It'll be nice to switch it up. It's been a minute since we've had a road course race in NASCAR, from what I remember. And
Does it seem like it's been a while?
It feels
Toto,
like
right?
it feels like it's been a while.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
I'm
I was thinking
kinda
about
like-
that earlier in this week. I was like,
yeah,
it really has
so I'm
been a
kind of
while.
like, hey, like switch it up, get
But they're
some
gonna
road course
drop, like,
racing
5.
going. And
Yeah.
it's Sonoma, which is a pretty good track.
Yeah.
At least the last couple years have been solid as far as the racing there. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm also excited for what we've got going on the following Tuesday, which I don't know if we're gonna be able to talk about that yet, but I'm excited about that.
Be paying
So
attention to YouTube.
yeah, so exciting stuff happening.
Oh, we actually do have some really exciting stuff happening.
Oh, yeah?
13th.
We do hit a stretch between now and Coke Zero. We have 4 road courses
Yeah,
in the next
that's-
12 weeks.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, we got some exciting stuff. Tuesday the 13th.
Yeah, we just mentioned
Oh
that.
yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know how that's gonna work yet. So
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
yeah,
out.
we
Stay tuned.
I would say
Stay tuned.
We don't want to say
No,
anything
no, no,
yet
stay
because
tuned.
we're got something going on.
Yep.
Yeah, Lindsay was suggesting for our off week we do NASCAR trivia and wreck friendships.
Stream NASCAR Heat.
NASCAR Heat.
Oh man, I don't know. Hey man, we
How
might.
fast can you bleep things out?
Not fast enough.
All right.
We're just
I
gonna,
do not need a mic. That
so they are doing the old school layout. They took the carousel out a couple years ago, and I believe
Oh,
they're still
okay.
keeping the carousel out.
Nice.
Kuzman's asking.
Carousel progress.
Yes, the carousel progress will not be there.
Thank
Oh.
God.
Which I think last year it didn't have it either, but they're continuing that.
I think that's
so.
I think. Remember when I said that the last year, whatever, the racing at Sonoma was really good?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why.
Yeah. All right. So you guys got anything you want to add before we close this thing out?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right. Cool.
Hey,
I think we've gone on long
was
enough.
not a disappointment.
What?
Gateway was not a
No,
disappointment.
it definitely wasn't. It was definitely a good one. So, all right. You guys got nothing else?
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we've got merch.
I got a shirt on.
yeah, we've
Dope
got
shirt.
merch.
Thank you. We appreciate the fact that you have a shirt
I have
on.
a shirt on.
It's a speed here for the shirt.
We can
Hey, I have a Ray shirt on,
we can drop the
Got a
link in
Metallica
like
shirt on.
our story.
but it was at Daytona.
It's true.
yeah.
We do love Daytona.
We can drop the
And
link in our
Metallica.
Instagram story or something like that. You guys can
Yeah.
go check out some stuff.
I'm
and-
sure we'll be
For
posting
sure.
stuff.
We're
we
trying to
do
get
have
ideas,
those.
too.
We do the. If you're into that, because we were talking about it earlier, we do have those Moms for Blaney shirts going up too. So,
We're not doing a
Hey, look,
Kuzman for
whatever.
Blaney shirt.
Kuzman for Blaney.
We're not. Okay, maybe we will
No,
now.
legit. If you want one, we could probably hook you up.
we could probably do it. So, all right, well, guys, it's been fun as always. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for YouTube and for everyone listening. And we're gonna see you guys next week. After we will listen and watch Sonoma. See ya.
Hey.